I never thought my heart would choose someone so quietly. There was no sudden moment, no dramatic beginning, no clear reason. It started slowly, almost invisibly. A simple conversation here, a small smile there. At first, I didn't call it love. I told myself it was nothing special. But deep inside, something was changing, something I was not ready to face. Every day I found myself waiting for him. Waiting for his words, his messages, his presence. I would pretend I was busy, pretend I didn't care, but my heart knew the truth. When he spoke, the world felt lighter. When he was silent, everything felt heavy. That was when I realized this feeling was no longer small. No one knows about my love, not my parents, not my friends, not even the person I love. It lives quietly inside me, like a secret I carry everywhere. I laugh, I talk, I live my life normally, but inside my heart there is a story no one has ever heard. Loving someone secretly changes you. You become careful with your words. You learn how to hide emotions behind a calm face. You train your eyes not to reveal what your heart feels. Every smile becomes a mask. Every laugh hides a little pain. I remember the first time I felt afraid. Afraid because I cared too much. Afraid because losing him, even as a friend, felt unbearable. That fear became the reason I stayed silent. Silence felt safer than rejection. He spoke to me freely. He trusted me. He shared his thoughts, his worries, his dreams. I listened to every word like it was precious. Sometimes he talked about his future, and I imagined myself in it, even though I knew I didn't belong there. At night, when the world became quiet, my thoughts grew louder. I replayed our conversations again and again. I wondered if he ever noticed the way my voice changed when I spoke to him. I wondered if he ever felt what I felt. Hope would appear quietly, and then reality would destroy it. There were days I promised myself I would stop thinking about him, stop caring so deeply, but love does not listen to promises. It does not leave just because you ask it to. It stays even when it hurts. Sometimes he would smile at me in a way that made my heart forget everything else. In those moments, pain disappeared. I lived for those moments, even though they never lasted long. I watched him from a distance. I noticed things no one else noticed. The way he looked tired when he was stressed. The way his voice softened when he talked about things he loved. These small details became treasures in my heart. There were moments of jealousy, followed by guilt. I had no right to feel jealous. He was not mine. He never was, still. My heart reacted before my mind could stop it. I wrote messages to him many times and deleted them before sending. Words of love disappeared one by one, erased by fear. My phone knew my feelings better than any human being. Loving secretly teaches patience. It teaches silence. It teaches you how to survive with unanswered questions. You learn how to smile while your heart slowly breaks. One day, he talked about someone else, someone he liked. Someone who was not me. I listened quietly. I smiled. I gave advice like a good friend. That night I cried silently so no one could hear me. I thought that day would end my love. But it didn't. Love doesn't leave just because it is hurt. It stays and becomes heavier. I asked myself many times why I loved him. Why this love came into my life. Why it chose silence instead of happiness. But love never explains itself. There were days I felt strong. I believed I could move on. And then there were days when hearing his name was enough to break me again. Sometimes I imagined telling him everything. I imagined his reaction. Sometimes he smiled in my imagination. Sometimes he walked away. Fear always won in the end. I saw other people in love. They held hands, shared pictures, laughed loudly. I watched them with a soft smile and a broken heart. My love had no proof, no future, no name. I realized something slowly. Loving someone secretly means choosing pain every day. But it also means loving purely, without expectations. There were nights I asked myself if this love was a mistake, but mistakes don't teach you so much about yourself. Loving him made me kinder, deeper, more patient. I learned that love does not always mean being together. Sometimes love means letting someone live their life without you. Still, hope remained. Hope is dangerous, but it is human. I hoped he would see me one day. I hoped he would feel something. I hoped without reason. Time passed and life moved forward. Marriage discussions started in my family. Names were mentioned, futures were planned, my heart grew silent. I knew I could never tell him now, the time had passed. My love became something from the past, something I carried quietly. On the day I got married, I smiled for everyone. Inside, my heart whispered goodbye to a love that never lived. I did not cry loudly, I did not break down, I simply accepted my fate. Some loves are not meant to be lived. They are meant to be felt and remembered. Even now, sometimes, his memory returns quietly. Not with pain, but with softness. I smile at the memory of how deeply I once felt. This is my secret love story. Nobody knows. Maybe nobody ever will, but it was real, and it changed me forever. If you are listening and you love someone secretly, know this. You are not weak, you are brave. Loving silently takes strength. Love does not always end in happiness. Sometimes it ends in growth. Sometimes it teaches us how deep a heart can feel. And even if my love was never returned, I will always respect the person I became because of it. Because loving truly, even in silence, is better than never loving at all.